Cough, it makes you like
Heads,
10
any
times more
thoughts
higher.
on the FPV Vegan motors considering they are wonky nips but shipped from the USA? I'm coughing from a blinker. Our lady.
Really no
Literally
thoughts about
can
it?
feel the weight feel off of ya after the first hit.
Besides,
You don't get off until you cough.
They're just that.
Greetings, ladies and gents. Today we are talking about these brand new FPV Vegan motors dropped by WeBleedFPV just a few weeks ago. I ended up picking up two sets of these. I put them in a 75 and a 65, and you may ask, why would I actually order motors that WeBleed won't even put a picture of on their website? And to know a little bit about that, you need to know a little bit about FPV motor history, at least the custom side / signature side of the things.
Now, all kinds of companies manufacture motors for Tinywhoops. We got Beta FPV, Newbie Drone, RC & Power, VCI Motors is a newer one that they just started making motors. And then there's Happy Model. Now, Happy Model was the first company to make a one-piece bell for a whoop motor, and they called that the onesie. And the benefit of that is that it does make the motor much more durable. A few years later, they came out with the EX line of motors to increase performance, and these are very similar to the onesies, but they have more material cut out of them. The bell is a little bit rounder at top, and that's just getting to make them lighter. Now, there are other companies out there like Tinywhoop.com, WeBleedFPV, Fractal. They all make custom motors and even signature models of different pilots. Now, the FPV Vegan motors are an example of these. They're made by WeBleedFPV. It's a well-known kind of inside industry secret that all of these custom models are either made by Happy Model or whatever OEM Happy Model uses. It's really easy to spot the similarities, as all of them are either a version of the onesie or an EX motor.
Like, I was really surprised that they're green. For vegan, green makes a lot of sense. But they're also the EX series, so they're like the Wonky Nips. Now, what's interesting is Wonky Nips are 0802 25,000 kV, FPV Vegans 0802 25,000 kV. So they're basically the exact same motors, but the only difference, these ones have knurled shafts.
Both the snowblowers and the Wonky Nip motors are Heads' custom models from Infinity Loops. You may recognize them from the beginning of this video.
What's weird is when I looked at Vegan's history, like video history, I noticed he was flying these on a 65. So I went ahead and threw them on a 65, and I was not happy with the results. The 65 with these on there ends up being too heavy. And when doing crazy moves, especially matty flips, like big matty flips, dives and stuff, I was getting lots of washout. Now, it wasn't using the lightest 65mm whoop, so that could be part of the problem.
Most of my 65s have like 28,000 kV or higher. So going down to 25 kV and also adding more weight for having a 0802 motor, I totally recommend the Happy Model 28,000 kV motors for 65mm. They're 0702 motors. So I crash on concrete and asphalt really hard, quite often. Now, when I destroy motors, it's almost always from the shaft slipping, and what that means is that the shaft separates from the bell of the motor. Spin up the motor to go fly, and your bell will spin, but the shaft and the prop won't. It'll feel like you don't have enough power, and you start having way more prop wash. I had all the I got for at the first set, all 4 slipped. Second set, 1 slipped. Snowblowers, I had all 4 slip. Wonky Nips, I had all 4 slip. I was a little surprised looking at the vegan motors that they have a knurled shaft. And what that means, either kind of cut little grooves in it, or you can actually inject more metal into it and have it like extrude in certain parts. And that just gives more like teeth on the shaft for the bell to actually bite into and not slide. These vegan motors, I've flown them really hard for like 3 weeks now, and I've yet to slip a single shaft on either of the two sets. Now, I will post an update if they ever do slip shafts, but as it is, these are my motors I recommend for any freestyle 75mm whoop. They're stupidly good. They're way more powerful than what most manufacturers put on their 75mm bind flies. So the first thing if you are new to FPV, I would get like a normal either Meteor 75 or Mobula 7.1S and fly that for, I don't know, a couple months, and then buy these motors. After a few months of flying like the stock motors, these are gonna be a huge upgrade for you.
What's your
Dang,
what's your impressions?
that it felt much closer to a 65 with its like instant response, and it just flicked left and right anywhere you wanted, and yeah, it has juice.
You think they're tame?
I think they're pretty tame, at least for what I fly. Mine's a little bit spicy. I also fly bigger motors on my 75. I think I fly the 1008s or 1002s or whatever they are, yeah.
So I've got 2 sets of these now. Will I be buying more? Eventually, when these break. That's it for me. Peace.